time or something, right? With the deal. So,
yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Captain's Chat. You just saw Dave Willsie right there. I just got popped. Little piss test. The joys of being a Paralympic athlete, but it was great. They're always great at USADA. So good to see my friends there. But sorry we're a little late. But we're gonna have Dave jump on. Have a great conversation here with the legend that is Dave Willsie. So let's rock and roll with that. Dave, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, Joe. Yourself?
Yeah. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Just another day in paradise here in Wisconsin.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, that's almost north of Canada.
It's you always joke that, I'm farther north, and so that's just not a joke. It's just geography right there, but farther north than good old London, Ontario. But so you got the Canada gear on.
Yeah, we're actually
training camp, huh?
We're in a training camp. So we're on a lunch break. So we're in the gym this morning, and it's first day of Team Canada training camp up in Ottawa.
Oh, first day, nice. First day. So no one's cracked yet. No one's.
No, yeah. I didn't even yell at anybody morning session.
I find that hard to believe, but it's one of those. It's one of those where I'm going into a camp, and it's like, well, we'll take it easy, and then a couple of balls start spraying around, you see the blood starts flowing. There you go.
Yeah, this is the first time we've been together as a team since last March, right? So
yeah.
We started off this morning saying, okay, guys, let's just ease back into it. Like you said, sure enough, a little testosterone gets going around the gym.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. Man, we got the April Wolf. What's up? Everyone misses.
There's my transplant, my Canadian transplant down there.
Yeah. Down there in Reno. Yeah, everyone's like, get about 3 or 4 tournaments going in Reno for 2021, and everyone will be happy. Good old Francis. You remember Francis, right? She was.
I sure do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Big hugs to you, Francis. So, man, how's the last year been for you?
Slow.
A lot of time and I bet the boys up there at the business and the family, they're like, man, we're not used to having you around.
Yeah. I know, because usually I'm home for about a week, and they're like, when's your next trip, eh? So
exactly.
Yeah. So the real world, I got to do some of that more this year, but like I said, we actually got our qualifier in for Tokyo about a week or 2 weeks before everything started shutting down. So that was nice.
It was
crazy. Don't even have their qualification in yet.
Yeah, it was crazy how that all came down. We're March 15th of 2020 is when we were at camp. Yeah. And like the world starts shutting down. We're going, what? And like, what are we doing? And then you guys, you had countries in Vancouver and the whole thing. And are they going to get this thing in? Because, I mean, can you imagine if that didn't happen and the nightmare of trying to figure out qualifications and everything like that?
Yeah.
I'm sure the IWF was happy about that for sure.
Yeah, because there's a lot of sports, they don't have their qualification in yet. So.
I've read some articles with that, the gymnastics is a,
Hold on. You read some articles, Joe?
Yeah, but it's a big thing. It's a big thing. But my kids are in school right now, so they're learning how to read and helping their old man out. Yeah. But I saw that, you got a little addition to the family, man. You get one little pandemic puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's taking care of that while you're gone?
Yeah, a little labradoodle. So little Rosie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we've been on lockdown, so like last night was the first night I was in the hotel room. I don't hear her walking around and stuff. So.
Yeah, a little different. How was the puppy training? We had our dog passed away about a year and a half ago, and we're always like, man, I want to go for the puppy thing again. How was that?
Yeah. I got lucky on this one. I hit a home run. Yeah. I live out in the country too, so I just opened the door and boom, boom. So within 2 weeks, fully house trained. And she's pretty chill.
Fair enough. Amy over in Ireland asking for a Canadian jersey, and she says, Joe, don't get mad. I already got a USA top. It's probably not a Delagrave top, but all right, whatever.
She's asking for a friend. What if it's for her?
Yeah. Wink, wink. Yeah.
Oh, I get the wink.
Uh, Paul Hopkins, man. What up, dude? What's
There's a
up?
dude. God, there's some real dudes on here.
I mean, come on. Yeah. I'm waiting for Frenchie to get on. Frenchie's his whole deal. He got froze out down in Houston. He's usually jumping on, but I guess he's cooking his whole Paralympic Sport Club. They're cooking for the whole city of Houston. A lot of barbecue.
Yeah. They had to shut her down there when the deep freeze hit it.
Yeah, deep freeze and everyone's freezing up. But well, dude, let's jump into it.
Let's go.
I'm a little razzled because I got a little,
I'll walk you through it, Joe. I got you. I got you.
I always feel like a big deal when I get piss tested. Like, oh man, I know that I took my vitamin D. It's a big deal. No, so let's jump in a little bit. Let's get in the time machine. Go way back.
Okay.
Go way back. So what led you to rugby? What led you to the great sport of wheelchair rugby? About
Yeah. Well, a long time ago, back in '95, I went head first in the boards playing hockey, and I broke my neck. So that's how I became the quad. So in London, Ontario, and we got a pretty good little wheelchair rugby program there. So it's pretty easy to make the jump from hockey to rugby, and got into it right away. Started playing like in '97. So
97 national team.
98.
98. What about with? I mean, I know it's been a long time ago, and I feel like a long time ago for me. But like the rehabilitation side of it, I know, like when we're super competitive, you've had a phenomenal career. You're coaching on national team, but like dating back to where it's like you find the sport at the rehabilitation level, that recreational level.
Yeah,
and how important that is. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, it was a blast because we actually have a little gym in our rehab hospital, and some guys were throwing the ball around there. So, I mean, the first time I saw it, I think I still had the halo on, watching guys go, and I mean, you're so calm at this time because you can't do anything, but you find yourself like twitching just watching, and you want to get into it, and then there's that whole other side of the sport too, where you're hanging out. I always say the best parts on the bus or taping up for the game with the guys, or maybe going out for a pint after, whatever it is. That's the real part you miss at the start, and then you get the competitive juices flowing. But it's hard to be competitive right off the start when you can't even drink out of your own water bottle, and you can't pick up a ball off the ground, and because you really do start baby steps again. So. But yeah, that was the part for me. And then, not even realizing that it was a Paralympic sport or whatever, you're just out there, you're playing and competing again at the local level. And then, maybe someone mentions maybe you should play in our system, you go for your provincial team next, and then your national team. And fortunately, I had some guys that saw a future in me, because when I first started playing national team, I was pretty bare bones, skinny little kid, and the mouth was still going a mile a minute, but the arms weren't catching up yet.
Oh, that's awesome. Apparently we got some little inside story here. What happened?
Oh, no.
I didn't see.
Yeah. So
there you go. Yeah.
I broke the coffee carafe, and it was a perfect quad moment there.
Yeah, one of those you got to make up a better story type of deal. So
I know.
It's like, yeah, for sure. No, so I think when I first not met you, but first saw you playing, the boys were saying, "Hey, this guy's this guy." It was 2008. It was actually
it was best of the West.
Yeah, Hoggy. We'll get to that story in a second. I still gotta get Hoggy on. He's
probably holding out for more money.
Yeah, he's running away from it. Maybe it'll be like a season finale. Don't ever. Yeah, exactly. That's what. And Hog said you're right, because Dave goes, "Yeah, we go out for a pint after," and I'm like, "That's weird." It was usually a lot more than a pint though. When Dave, but no. So when did you come down to the States when you first started? You played with multiple teams, or like London. I feel like London's like a a member of our league. You guys have been going to all kinds of tournaments and
our London team, we probably go into 4 or 5 U.S. tournaments a year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Who are the club teams you played for in the past?
I started playing in the U.S. 2002. I played 2 seasons with Sarasota Hover Round, and my first year we had a nice squad there. We finished second. We lost in the final to Lakeshore. I think we only lost by 2 or 3 touchdowns, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
and then so I played 2 years there, and then I played 2 years with the Quake. So the boys from San Jose. So that was fun. And then I played a couple years in Northridge too. So I don't know if you noticed the theme, but they're all nice, warm locales. And
well, yeah, you're not going to cross the border to go to.
I felt bad when Chicago would call, and I'd be like,
Let's see. Are we playing? Is it a summer league or is it a winter league? All right. Yeah. We'll go down the sun for sure. Yeah, Best of West back in the day was huge. I think that was actually my first tournament. We went out there. Me and Chucky, it was like our first year. Me and Inoki are playing out there with the North Stars. We got the green socks on, and we're playing you guys. Funny story is we're playing, and all of a sudden Dave goes, "Hey, Joe, wait a second." And I'm like, well, yeah, of course, anything, Dave, type of deal. And you pull your hand out of my backrest. You're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, we got jammed up there pretty good.
Yeah, we did. Good stuff for sure. I want to talk a little bit about that London team, and I think like over the you have some places throughout the country and in Canada as well where you guys have a couple hot spots in Vancouver and of course London, and Scott's had one down there. You got Gumby in Texas and Jay Rieger in Denver, and those spots where you're teaching a lot of people. Cody was one of those guys that came up through, like how important is that club system, that team system with recruiting players and growing and developing players for the national team?
Yeah. Well, we do have a rehab hospital in London, Parkwood Hospital. So that's where it kind of all started. And it was going on long before I got there. So I have to give a big shout out to Harry DeBoer and Johnny Zintai and those guys that, really got the program going. And it's such a good, everybody's, no matter what level you're playing at, you can play there. We'll send a certain team to like a B tournament, or we'll go to an A tournament. And it just, I don't know, it's just a good environment. And then everybody around, it's a small enough town that people support it. And so whether it's gym time or you got to raise money for a chair or whatever it is, it really helps the guys with the support that way. So
yeah, for sure.
To be honest, I've thought about it many times, and I really don't know, because you wouldn't think a lot of guys would want to come and get yelled at all the time, but they keep showing up. So
they like that abuse, man. Usually one person plays good cop, one person plays bad, but it's usually you playing both.
You can do it in the same sentence if you play your cards right.
Oh, amazing, Coach over in France. Hope you guys.
Olivier.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's later in the day there? He's probably having a pint.
He's already having a pint for sure.
Yeah.
Already having a pint for sure. Congrats on they named their team already. They're 12. Congrats on that, Coach. Absolutely. April brings up a good point. One of the best tournaments ever, and it's been a while. You retired it a long time ago. It was the first D1 tournament. That's when Scott said, "Don't drink with Dave." The old Dash for Cash tournament, and
Crash for Cash. Yeah,
Crash for Cash. And so it's one of those tournaments there. You have a pre-party and post-party for that bad boy.
Yeah, that's a good one there. We had $10,000 in prize money for the teams, and we'd have 6 teams come in, and then the banquet after. And like I said, that London group and community rallies right around. I couldn't believe the sponsorship that just came out of everywhere. Yeah,
it was good times for sure.
Just get that going again.
It's a classic. Absolutely. I don't think you have any problem getting some teams there. That's for sure.
No.
Chad said him and the Tucson boys would come up. So
Even if I left him in a parking lot once?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's too many stories. Too many stories. Oh, man. Garrett rolling up
Yeah.
the old
Save
Magnum.
the day.
Hey, boys. Oh, amazing.
You don't want to miss that last shuttle.
Look, man, everyone just coming up. Gary Pate. Gary, you're still the best looking man. You're still the best.
Yeah, you got it, Gary.
Come on now. Come on.
We bow to the Jude.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had to put my glasses on so I could read, but people are putting on.
Too many comments going on. Too many comments for sure. Everyone knows about the Bush after party for sure. Legend. Tell us about maybe the back in the day, or maybe throughout your career, the significance of putting on the jersey for Canada and your country, representing what it means to play wheelchair rugby for Team Canada. I mean, it's obviously one of the most successful programs in the history of our sport, and so what that means for you.
You get asked this question, and it's always hard to kind of put it into words. Like, I remember the first time you get it, and it was just a practice jersey, and I got to put it on, and because I made the squad for a camp, and it does. It makes you stop and you think, and the big part for me is you think about all the people that help you get there and who you're actually representing when you're there, whether it's my family, and which I got the best one in the world, my brothers and my parents and cousins and everybody all the way through, or your friends who got your back, or the rehab hospital and everybody that helped you move forward. It's quite an honor. I never worry about letting them down as far as winning or losing, but it's more how you carry yourself and how hard you compete. That's probably the big thing.
Yeah.
Just give her the whole time you're out there. But it's definitely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You feel bad using words like that because it doesn't encapsulate it, but
it's so true too. And I think, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. At the end of the day, I know, like with my boys growing up now and my daughter, I talk to them all the time with their sports about effort and communication, because those are the two things that you don't need talent for.
That's right. Right. I'm never going to get tall. I was never going to get, all these other things, like this huge range on my pass or whatever. But you can put the work in. You can see the play before it happens because you put the work in. That gives you half a push there. So I'm already faster, right? So,
exactly. Yeah, for sure. Hannaford, I hope you're doing well, man.
How come he's not welding something? He should be welding. Where's my trophy? It's funny how everybody types in, you got a story with somebody, right? Everybody. Exactly. It's such a great community. It's also trying to tell people outside the wheelchair rugby, quad rugby universe, if there really is one, but how close knit we are. Just beat the hell out of each other when we get a chance to, and then we're pretty tight after.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not exception, but we won't talk about them.
Well, I mean,
there's got to be a couple in every group, right?
Yeah. Outliers. Someone's got to grade the curve on the high and the low.
That's right.
Dave, I'll get you. Yeah, there we go. He's got it. Yeah, pretty neat. And that's a cool thing. I remember when I started this show at the beginning of the pandemic, and I was like, man, there's so many cool people in our community that are doing things outside of of being on a national team or being a Paralympian. Like, there's some people in our community that are doing. Jeremy's one of them. There's guys on here that do amazing things where it's like, hey, I know a quad that welds, and that people look at you cross-eyed, going like, that's not a thing. Yeah, actually, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a high functioning quad either.
No.
Low pointer, rocking it.
Yeah, it's awesome, for sure. Well, hey, so
which way am I getting this? Here we go.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're still looking. Hey, you still looking blue steel over there.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
There we go.
Tell us a little bit about coaching. You've been player coaching a long time. You and Scott Hogson are like the playing coaching OGs in the sport, and there's probably way too many stories to tell on that one where you two are getting into it on the court. But I don't think Scott's ever been more mad at me when we played you guys losing. And he's just like, what?
You just lose it on you, man.
Well,
that was fun.
For a couple of years,
yeah,
there's quite a few years that I probably deserved it. And then, I'd start talking back to him, which wasn't good either. Cause then,
we all liked it.
Then I'd find myself on the bench. What is it about coaching though versus playing? Like, is there?
Yeah, huge difference.
Yeah,
and that's why player coaching is next to impossible, because
yeah.
when you're playing, everything is so in the moment. That is the most important thing in the world right then and there, was that play or the next play. And then when you're actually coaching, you're a step back. And because let's face it, I remember when I started coaching, I don't want to say I was a bit of a spaz as a player, but I was very intense. And
that's a safe word to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm so laid back as a coach on the sidelines or in practice, because it's all big picture, right? And you do see the smaller strides guys are making. So that's probably the big thing.
What about from like a competitive standpoint? You still got the juices flowing. You're still the same person. Is it different demeanor coaching compared to
being very different? Yeah. It's funny what you as a coach, what you consider a win, right? Is because you're trying to make every player better. You're trying to make every lineup better. You're trying to make your team better, and especially like I don't like the term rebuild, but we had quite a turnover after Rio. So you were going a lot of baby steps along the way, and it's very different. So you had to take a breath here and there, but it's a blast. I really like doing it. So
yeah. What about rivalries? Obviously, there's a little bit of a one with USA Canada.
Yeah.
My kind of welcome to that show was 2010 World Championships. Was an epic game. I feel like every game that we played you guys was epic.
Yeah.
One of us is
out of the wire.
Really happy type of deal. But that one was, I remember that with the crowd was unbelievable. You think it's Toronto. The crowd there was probably my favorite crowd ever in Toronto.
Yeah, the Pan Ams.
Yeah,
the Parapans. Yeah. Vancouver was interesting. So we'll get to that, because to tell the story, we got to go way back. When I started playing, there was no rivalry because the U.S. just won all the time. Right up till Worlds in 2002, and the historians will probably correct me on this, but I don't think the U.S. ever even lost a single game of wheelchair rugby internationally. So there was no rivalry, because I remember when they asked Andy Roddick about his rivalry with Federer. He's like, "What rivalry? The guy beats me all the time." So until and then in 2002, we won the round robin game, and then which really set up the heat for the final, right? And it was crazy, and that's where the tight games all started, because it was tied after every quarter. And sorry, Joe, go ahead.
I was going to say, in 2002, you guys won the round robin. You guys run the pool play game.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was obviously big. And then what was your guys' main line? Obviously, Garrett was a beast.
We ran Garrett, myself, Al Semenuk, and Danielle as our point of 5. And then we'd give those two a break. Me and Garrett would pretty much go Ironman, and we'd bring in Pat Samard and Mike Bacon to run also. And Ian Chan was kind of just coming in and spotting us here and there. Okay. But he really came on after that. So
Pat, that guy doesn't age. Still rolling, man. Yeah. So you guys set that up, and then you get into the championship. It's tied quarter after quarter. Obviously, that's one of the big spots in murder ball. they show that last pass, but you guys win, and the U.S. obviously loses. But how big of a deal was that? That was, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time. I'd probably just too tired, banged up, and more like relief when we won it at the time. And then as the days follow, you kind of realize, well, first of all, you're world champ, so that's cool. And just how it kind of changes everybody's mindset. Okay, now, like the hardest thing once isn't getting to the top, it's staying there. And so that's kind of when the program switched to its excellence, right? And I think it gave the whole international wheelchair rugby world. Not everybody was always playing for second place after the U.S. and it got just everybody's game picked up, I think. So from that, although it was a long time after that any other country did beat the U.S. I think we got in there. We got in there a few times and won, but I'm a country other than Canada. So
gotcha. Yeah. What you talk a little bit about winning and losing. Are there any games like think about, man, I wish I had that one back?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. But there's also a few I know I kind of squeaked away too. I squeaked one out, or maybe I didn't quite. I don't want to say deserve, because if you win, you deserved it. But it could have easily went the other way. But I really wish, the gold medal game in Athens. That's another one where we played the U.S. in the semi, and it was an epic battle, and we had to come back the next day and play the gold against the Kiwis, and we were just, this is a sport you got to play pumped up, not angry. Well, sometimes angry, but maybe just if it was hockey, I'd say our legs weren't there or whatever. But I'd really like to have that game back again.
Yeah, it's
taking away anything from them, because they were a damn good team too.
I think you forget, because that was all before I kind of started playing, but then talking to some of the guys and doing some of these chats and and then I watched a documentary on the Kiwis, and all quads, and their run from 04, 06 was impressive. You forget about that, and how a small country, as far as their club system goes, they're we're trying to scrape together 4 teams just for a nationals or whatever. And
that's right.
Yeah.
I think the population's 7 million on the island there. So
so pretty impressive. Obviously, rugby is huge in their country, but as far as wheelchair rugby goes, the numbers are important. Yeah,
I think it's but the hardest thing ever is to play for the bronze, especially every once in a while there'll be a country that's happy to be in the bronze medal game and they're playing to win the bronze. But usually you just won the semifinal. You just lost the semifinal, and it's usually about a 15-hour turnover, and you got to come back and play for that bronze. And it's tough to crank it back up to to 10.
Yeah, you go from straight devastation essentially to I had to go out there and play for my country, play for the color of the chest, and absolutely. Unfortunately,
that's where it's nice having different guys on your team that'll smack you, give you because they can tell them T-Bone's good at that, and back in the day it'd be an Al Semenuk, and get your head out of your butt and let's go.
Yep, absolutely. Man, what's been your favorite USA Canada game?
God. Well, there's different ones for different reasons.
Quit smirking like that, all right? Quit smirking. Jesus.
Yeah. There's, the first, 02 was great. I mean, it's got at the end, it's me and Garrett are trying to hold up the cup together, and he's got a broken wrist, and I've got a torn shoulder. So we got to both use our one good hand and do that, and you just pure exhaustion at the end of it. The craziest game ever was in England. I've never seen a wheelchair rugby, whether it's Canada, US or not. I have never seen a wheelchair rugby game like that.
It was unbelievable.
I think it was an 8-point spread at the end of the first quarter, and then here comes the tidal wave of the big blue machine coming back at us, and then get a couple jabs in here or there, and that was a crazy game.
It was unbelievable. Yeah,
there's so many good ones. That one in Vancouver was a great game.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, it really was.
Well, how many overtimes was the Parapans in Toronto? Was that double overtime?
Overtime there, and just the fans. It was whenever I go back, I'll go back and watch it sometimes, and it was just unbelievable. There's so many fans there that knew about the sport and understood what they were watching. And then you have the hockey arena where everything's kind of down on top of you, and that was insane. That was phenomenal. It was terrible though. So it was right before that game, newbie knocks me off. They have the practice court has the
the ledge
raised. Yeah, so we're fooling around, and newbie's being newbie. I go backwards, crack my elbow, get big old slit in there, right? It's like, you good to play? I'm like, yeah, tape me up. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Go through there. Devastating, last second loss. And then the game was a little weird too, right? We started out 5-1, and then you guys were roaring back, and it's just, you never know when we're playing each other how it's going to go. And then I had to get stitches after that, and got drug tested that same day. It's like, it was just awful. Like it went from bad to worse, but such is life. That time. So
how many games over the geez? It was like Denmark was crazy game.
Yeah. Denmark. Then you have it's
one of the funniest moments is when you guys beat us in Beijing, and so the last line that's out there is Whitey, myself, Say, and T-Bone, and so me, Whitey, and T-Bone are all in the penalty box. So Say's out there. We're yelling at Say, and he couldn't get a foul because I don't think he could reach anybody. But,
might as well stack up. Yeah. That's fantastic.
Not enough room in the penalty box.
Yeah. It's like, that's when some of the guys, they know they're going to be in the penalty box. You might have been one of them. I don't know. And Morale might have been one of them. He goes, I think he was putting his water bottle over in the penalty box with a little snack over there. He might have.
That's what I was doing. I was doing that in 02. I didn't really have a sub. So
foul to get it.
We played 5 or 6 games, and I had 27 penalties. Or at least had the stats.
Yeah.
But mine weren't really penalties. Mine are more like infractions, right? Big difference between 4 and the key, right? And a spin.
It's you get a bingo card on how many different penalties you got during a game. Like, why is he saying bingo?
Actually, that's a great idea.
That is a great idea. That's
I'm writing that one down.
Crash for cash.
Yeah. Nice.
Perfect. I'm gonna put you on the spot here a little bit. Some of these questions are completely not on the questions that I gave you, but put you on the spot here a little bit.
Right, I didn't look at those anyway. I like being impromptu.
Exactly. Can you give me a top 3 or maybe a top 5 of teammates that you just love? I know you guys. There's quite a few teammates you've played with throughout the years, but
let's do this so I can piss some people off that I leave off the list.
You're like, wait, Dave, I was in the top 10. Come on.
Well, I can't say me and Garrett were joined at the hip we kind of still are. He's at my house right now while I'm here. So Garrett Hickling, beast mode, really took me under his wing too when I first made the team, because I didn't know anything, and but he got me on the starting lineup actually pretty quick, and so it there's always that. I mean, Al Semenuk, guy's a beast. Probably the most dependable. Well, as soon as I say this, I'm gonna. I
love it.
It's off Pat Simard, but those two, play that 3 role better than, just phenomenal. And T-Bone, what do you say? 2-pointer play, 1-pointer plays like a 2-pointer or a 3. I mean, I got to stock my boy Chan. God, we would fight. We could not play offense together. We would just go at it. And then, but defense, we thought the same way. So that was fun. It's funny because, there's different styles out there. And you got your guys who like things a little more scripted. And then you got your read and react guys. And everybody's got to learn how to play with each other. So.
Ian was always he wanted to make sure other teams knew he could pass. That's for sure. Yeah. Back in Denmark, he pitched a perfect game too.
Yeah.
Missed pass, but missed that for sure.
Yeah.
My goodness. Who else? Man, who else can you piss off? Most dependable person, like they're putting on their jersey, they're buckling up, that they're gonna show up and play.
That I played with?
Yeah.
I gotta go Al Semenuk and Pat Simard are just what you call grinders. I mean, they do their job perfectly, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
And you just know it.
Yeah. What about across?
I'm only missing about 100 guys because I played for a while. So
yeah. What about guys across the court? What about opponents?
Yeah.
End of it, you're going, man. That
I can't. I threw a party when Cliff Chun retired. I'm not gonna lie. Jeez.
People forget about him, dude. You watch film. He was a freaking
beast. Yeah.
And he'd probably be a 1-5 in today's rugby. Yeah.
Stevie Pate. You got those smooth as silk Kiwis that you used to play against. I mean, Jeremy Tinker was so smooth that I think he could play with a dozen eggs in his pocket and not break one all game. Man, that guy was good. Timmy Johnson. There's a guy that just makes everybody around him better, like the perfect point guard. What a list.
Yeah. What about guys that
every low pointer that played for the US in the last 10 years? Or you guys cranked them out, except for Hogstead. I mean, you guys crank them out.
It's true. There's something about, and like, honestly, as far as that goes, like, you're not going to be a good team if you don't have a good low pointers, especially if you're trickling out high pointers. And like,
that's right.
You look at someone like, Jared Funk was that way.
Yeah.
That way, where you look at him, you go, oh, this guy's whatever. And then all of a sudden, in the exact same spot that he's supposed to be in, how the heck did he get there? I don't know, but
I don't know how many years it took me to figure out Eddie Crouch was always going to sneak up on my left side.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember I think that was probably my biggest rehab thing ever. No hospital, no support group type thing. It was seeing Eddie Crouch get his own breakfast in the morning, and I'm like, oh gosh, yes, okay, all right,
yeah. Watch him eat a cheeseburger, balancing it on the back of his hand.
Yeah, exactly. You're going, all right, okay, fair enough. Yeah, man, insane. Well, before we wrap up, and we could talk for hours and hours.
We could talk for hours. Well, we have talked for hours, Joe.
Yeah, and I want to know, like, outside of the sport, or maybe inside the sport, like whatever it is, do you ever think about legacy, man? Like, I know it's kind of a deep question, but like, and probably one of my favorite stories is you talk about, and Scott's done this too, talking about, you could talk about medals, you could talk about your accomplishments and yada, 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 but you always talk about the journey and the stories like that. But wrapped up in that, like, what's Dave Willsie's legacy?
Well, I know I wouldn't want to know what I'd be without wheelchair rugby. And And that's not even Team Canada stuff. That's just, it exponentially helps your everyday life, being around other quads and figuring out how to do stuff. So like Johnny Zintai and all those guys that got me into it, I know if there's anybody that I've ever recruited and helped, and people won't even know their name, but I know that their life is better because of it. That's probably it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's sappy and whatever, but that's true.
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I can be sappy. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. All right. Hey, we're going to wrap up with some rapid fire questions.
Go.
And before we do that, can I have your favorite moment or favorite story from club rugby, and then favorite story from when you had the Canadian jersey on, and then maybe favorite story at Oscar Mike? I don't know. Made a deal with the devil, or you're a cat or something. I don't know.
Yeah. My favorite club story. Yeah. Okay. So we're playing in Florida in Sarasota with my London team. And so you could cut through from the hotel to the gym on this one path, and it was a little bumpy, and I was coming back up it, and I fell out of my chair, and my chair rolled back down the hill. So I just took my shirt off and had a nap, got my tan going in the sun. And we're playing the German national team, so our equipment manager comes out all worried.
Yeah.
So he got me. But that's like the nicest story I can tell you guys. Everybody knows. Okay, so everybody knows all the other stories. So that's a good one. And then Team Canada. Every time you're on the podium, and this is real. My parents are up in the crowd, and you just know for 4 years how many people have your back, right? And that moment is, and you're up there with your boys. There's just nothing replaces that. And I don't care where on the podium you are, although obviously you want to be at the top of it, but that's always nice. And then what was the other one?
The Oscar Mike, favorite Oscar Mike moment.
Oh yeah. I'm sure most people know. Yeah. I just didn't want to wait for the elevator, so I just went down the express route.
The old Willsie Express.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
It stuck the landing though.
Stuck the landing.
Yeah.
You're a cat or something. Something, man. Well, hey, let's rapid fire this bad boy up and get you back. Get you boys back out on the court on the afternoon, or what?
You got afternoon session.
Awesome. All right, so here we go. Rapid fire. What color is your toothbrush?
White, because it's covered in toothpaste.
What's one thing you put on your bucket list? What do you got on your bucket list that you haven't done?
Haven't been to Italy. Got to get there and just eat.
Favorite summer activity?
Sitting by the pool.
What's your dream job?
Doing it. Okay. Wheelchair rugby makes the big time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the color guy on the TV.
I can see that. Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
You'd be pissing off the partner next to you the whole time.
We need a 7-second delay though, because I get a little excited.
Move over, Joe and Troy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've done a good job with my language this.
You've done phenomenal. Normally,
I let the superlatives fly.
When Zupan was on, I got about 15 phone calls and a couple texts saying, "Get him off."
Yeah. No, I've been very aware.
What is your favorite thing about someone in your family?
My brothers. They work their butt off so I can do this.
That's amazing. What is one of your weird quirks? Do you have weird quirks?
Yeah. I have to put the cream in the coffee before you put the coffee in.
That is weird. It's bizarre. Do you have any more? That's a bizarre one, man.
I got to put my left shoe on first.
Do you go sock, shoe, or you go socks first?
No, sock, shoe.
Okay. All right. Only serial killers do the sock, shoe, and sock.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone that's listening, if you have someone that does that, run from them.
Yes.
Absolutely. If you could get a yacht, what would you call it?
Get a what?
You could get a yacht. If you had a big old yacht, what would you call it?
That's funny because I did just buy a boat, and I'm trying to come up with a name.
Oh man, Put it in the comments.
You're gonna call it Serenity now or the Vortex, because you know the Vortex, right?
Yeah.
You've been in it.
If you could talk to the U.S. president, so you're in the apartment upstairs.
Yeah.
The U.S. president, what would you say? What would you guys talk about?
Ooh, I don't know. I like old Joe. He's chill.
Yeah, he's been on the job for a couple weeks.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. That's a good one though.
Oh,
what would I say? I'd probably
Judge had a perfect one there.
broken oar. Not a boy, Judge.
Last one here. If you're stranded on an island, what 2 things do you have with you?
Hammock, margarita machine.
Done. Dunzo. Dave, thanks for coming on, man. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks, it's been too long, man.
Been way too long. Until next time. Until next time, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Take care, man. Take care.
Peace.